Welcome in, amazing humans, to another episode of the Essential Oil Scoop podcast. We are so happy you're here. So, I have a personal question that I want you to answer honestly. Have you been feeling stuck or stagnant lately? It's the new year. A lot of people have these goals. A lot of people are like, yeah, this is my year. But maybe you are someone that is feeling a little stuck and stagnant. My friends, the conversation today is going to be a powerful one, and I hope you tune in. Welcome to the Essential Oil Scoop podcast. I'm Vicki and this is my co-host, Sarah Cypress. Together, we have the pleasure of helping you navigate the world of essential oils, separate fact from fiction, and discover how these tools can elevate your life. We will equip you with actionable tools to integrate essential oils into your daily routine, empowering you to achieve your ideal emotional, mental, and physical wellness goals. So tune in and get ready to elevate your life one drop at a time. Remember to like, share, follow, and subscribe to our podcast, and of course, stick around to the end for our scoop of the day. At the end of this episode, we ask that you leave us an honest review. It's free, it means the world to us, and it helps this podcast reach more ears. Thank you, Sarah, for bringing up this conversation because it is perfect for right now, and honestly, any time of the year for when you are feeling these emotions.
I think, you know, I get excited about goals and the new year and doing all the things. At the same time, I do know, and there have been times in my life when people start talking about it, and I'm like, what the crap? I'm still dealing with last year. I'm still trying to wrap my head around yada, 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 whatever has happened this past 6 months or year or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, feel like I'm floundering or just stuck in moving past whatever garbage I'm dealing with at the moment, right? And so
Mhm.
I don't know, when we were just talking about it just a few minutes ago and talking about this episode, I was like, there have been times in my life. Now there are times where I'm like on fire. I know exactly what I want. Here's my goals. I can sit down with you. I can map it all out with you. And I have a plan, right? But then there's other times in my life where I'm like, I got out of bed this morning. Can I get like a gold star for that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Mhm.
just being totally honest. Like, this is just me being totally honest. There are some times where I'm like, I am so on my goals and know exactly what I want, and I see the direction and I see where I'm going. And then there's times where I'm just like, I hear other people's, and I'm just like, holy cow. I got dressed and took a shower and like,
Yeah. Gold stars for the day. Good night. Yeah, no, Sarah, you're so not alone. And again, like this conversation, especially right now, for all those people that we're seeing on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, everything is about fitness and being your best self. And yes, that is powerful and awesome, but it's not for everyone right now. So feeling the emotions of being stagnant or stuck, those are real. Hey, my name's Vicki and I've totally lived there for a long time. It's not until I denumbed myself and did some work. And it's going to ebb and flow because guess what? I'm human. Sarah's human. It's going to ebb and flow, but you don't have to be there. You don't have to be stuck in that frequency, in that emotion. So hopefully today we are we're going to pair a couple oils because let's be honest, Sarah, there's so many oils that you can turn to. This would be like a 3-hour podcast episode if we were to really niche down in every support oil necessary. So we're not going to do that at this moment, but we're going to break down a couple for you and truly invite you to look a little deeper into this emotion and maybe ask some powerful questions to help move yourself out of that frequency so you can feel abundant and awesome and enjoy life like it's meant to be enjoyed.
yeah, I think, this year, well, I wasn't, going into this new year, I've got plenty of goals, right? Like I know exactly what I want and I know, but I will tell you, after my mom passed away in April, between April to July, I felt stuck. I felt stagnant. I felt like I wasn't moving forward. And I felt like I was almost like in quicksand. Like every time I try to move forward, it would like suck me back. Like every time I try to pick up my feet, it would suck me back. And I mean, it took some work. It took some emotional stuff because I know I was deep in grief, even though I didn't really recognize my grief. And I know that I was deep into like not being able to process all of the emotions that I was feeling. And so I did need help. I did need, I did a session with Amanda and Natalie, like going through that of emotions. And I did do my own work with emotion code. And I did my own work with using essential oils and the essential emotions book. And I did do the work. But I think sometimes we get caught in these patterns and not doing the work because it feels hard and it feels heavy and it feels like I can't do it, or how do I do it alone? Or where do I even begin? Like, I have had these tools for like 12 years, 12 to 14 years. I've had tools to help me with emotions. I can't imagine what it would be like for someone who doesn't have any tools.
Yes. Well, I was on the other side of that. I did not have these tools. And let me tell you, I think I prolonged that suffering because I didn't have these tools like you do. And you mentioned, the grief. You didn't really recognize it as grief. And I promise you, I'm not a doctor. I don't have my PhD in this, but I've gone through it. I swear to you guys, grief and sorrow goes through costume changes. It's the same entity, but it went through a costume change. I don't know how to describe it other than if you know what I'm saying. And Sarah's shaking her head like, does that make sense though? It's like it was there, but it looked different this today. It was there, but it looked different today.
Right. Well, when you start learning about the cycles of grief, it does look different, right? Like there's, the different cycles that you go through with grief. But I also think we expect grief to be about one particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Grief of a loss of a loved one, where I did experience that, right? I did experience loss of a loved one. But also, I was talking to recently with my sister-in-law, and she has experienced grief. She doesn't realize she's experiencing grief. It's a job. She changed jobs, right? And I don't think she understood that she was going through grief in the sense that like a job loss isn't the same as losing a loved one. And I think we only associate grief with losing a loved one. And yes, I did have grief for losing a loved one. And then I lost my perfect cat, which and I know some people like roll their eyes when it comes to animals, and other people are like they feel it very deeply when they lose fur babies. So I know somebody out there is probably rolling their eyes when I say I lost my cat, and somebody else is like, "Oh, my heart is breaking for you," right? Like because we all experienced it on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was like thing after thing after thing kept slapping me in the face when it came to those few months of my life. And it was just like bam, 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 bam. And I was holding it together, but from the outside, I was holding it together.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm so grateful again. Like, this space is to help you understand that you aren't alone. And there are tools, holistic tools, like these essential oils we highlight in every episode to help you work through it. Do they do the work? No, ma'am. But they allow you to do the work, open you up, and allow you to experience what you're needing to experience to move through it. Not around it, not under it, not going the other way, but through it. So today, if you are struggling, if you're feeling stagnant or stuck, Sarah, I mean, we have cypress, abode, lemongrass, thyme, guaiac fennel, cilantro, ginger, purify, zendicrine, DDR prime, motivate, green mandarin, citrus bloom, which, spoiler alert, tune in to the next episode because we're going to be highlighting citrus bloom there. Litsea, Palmarosa, and Blue Lotus to choose from. Wow, did I take a breath? I don't know. But those oils, all of those will help support. Can you hear my dog? Sorry. UPS is here. s- can support you in working through being stagnant and stuck. So Sarah, I want you to pick one or two to quickly highlight, and maybe we'll overlap because again, we don't have time to go through them all, but I would love to hear what your top one or two oils for this emotion would be.
Well, I know for myself, when I have felt stuck in the past, I've used Cypress. And Cypress is it's a powerful oil. It's oil of motion and flow. The energetic flow, emotional when you're going through like some sort of feeling stagnant, all of those things. This oil kind of helps create motion and flow again and flexibility. It helps you to let go of the past and moving more forward, especially when you're stuck and feeling rigid and stiff and tense and overstriving and have to have perfectionistic tendencies. I am a recovering perfectionist, right? Like this speaks to my soul because I have to cast aside worries and control in order to feel alive again. And I have to like step into that and I love the one. I'm just going to read one little section of it and it says it reminds individuals that damnation is simply the discontinuation of growth and development. So let me read that again. It's the damnation. Damnation is is discontinuing growth and development.
Mhm.
And so if you are not on that growth and development bandwagon or mindset or whatever you want to call that, that is, I always know when I am struggling the hardest is when I'm not going through periods of growth. Periods of growth, though they are difficult, are the most rewarding at the end. So
They
when you're
truly
going,
are.
like, when you're going really growing through it and like the refiner's fire, whatever you want to call that, and you're just going through everything at the same time, like, those are really big, huge growth moments. And it's kind of like a tree with the rings, right? Like you can tell from a tree and how close together and how far apart the rings are if they're going through something. And sometimes we need those times of like massive growth and difficulty and how the season might be in our life and how difficult that is in order to have the reward and the benefit.
I like the analogy. You kind of took me into a visual for a moment. Like I was visualizing that tree and yeah, I like it. I don't want to go on a soapbox, but that was really awesome, Sarah. Okay, I think we'll overlap, but what is your second in this category of feeling stuck and stagnant? What do you tend to lean on for the support?
Well, we're going to talk about next episode. So it's Citrus Bloom is my other favorite in this category to use, but we're gonna heavily lean into that next on our next episode. So I don't want to spoil anything. So I think the next one that I would say for me would be Green Mandarin.
Yeah, knew we were going to overlap. I just absolutely. So please share why, and I'll chime um, in a little bit.
So Green Mandarin for me, it's the oil of pure potential, right? And so I love this oil. I know we've probably discussed it at times on other podcasts, but it's a fantastic oil when we're feeling trapped or limited by our own belief systems. And this is by our own negative belief systems about ourselves, about how things should be or ought to be. Um, But this oil does help in that, like releasing that limiting belief and really, really, truly experiencing joy in the journey and to never stop becoming who you're meant to be and living into that pure potential. Especially when people are feeling weighed down by self-doubt, fear, failure, um, helps us to remember a time when we're not encumbered by all of that baggage and all of the emotions that weighs us down. And so we can reconnect with the inner child and remember when we were fearless. Do you remember when you were fearless? Like, I remember being fearless.
I remember being a really young child and having that playful spirit of, wow, Vicki can be anything. I can be a potions maker and a doctor for my cat and like anything was possible. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a couple vivid memories of a time in my life where that rang true.
I can remember being at summer camp and there's like you could swim out to what we called the raft. And it was just basically a little floating raft out in the lake. And you could swim out there like it was you had to pass a swimming test every single summer in order to be able to like be in that deep end with where the raft was, okay? And I remember just like fearlessly swimming out, no, not fearless. Yeah, like totally fearless. Just swimming all the way out to that raft, knowing I was going to touch it, knowing I could jump up onto the raft and pull myself up and then diving back in, swimming all the way back to shore and like zero fears whatsoever. I never once thought about like the type of the water I was swimming in. Was that contaminated? Were people peeing in it? Probably. Where like what was happening in that lake water? Didn't care. Did it have seaweed? Did it have leeches? Probably. Like I had
Water
no
snakes, girl. Like, no. Mm-mm.
thoughts whatsoever about what could possibly be lurking out there in that water. Now, when
Mhm.
I think of lake water, I'm like, where is this particular lake? Where is it? What's the,
What feeds it? What's in
yeah,
it?
like, is it safe? Like looking back on that lake, I'm like, okay, that particular lake that I swam in probably was super safe. It probably is still very safe to this day. But like other lakes, not so sure. Not so sure. I would have to think twice about just diving in and swimming out to that raft and jumping back up onto it and jumping back in and like I don't know. And then there was like a canoe test, you had to go and tip your canoe and that was the only way you could like take the canoes out and like there was so many different little things and I didn't think twice about tipping over a canoe and jumping underneath it and breathing, going up and getting your headspace underneath the canoe and coming back out and like flipping it back over. As an adult, I'm like, I don't want to tip a canoe over. I don't want to fall into water.
Cold water?
Right? Like, doesn't
Oh my
sound
gosh.
appealing these days. But back then, it was like a rite of passage of every summer you would
Mhm.
have that.
So why share that story? To bring the people back.
Because there was a time in your life that you felt fearless. There was a
Yeah.
time in your life you didn't have these worries of contamination and all the
Mhm.
things. You didn't worry about what you were jumping into. You didn't think about leeches. You didn't think about seaweed. You didn't think about any of the things that could be lurking underneath. You just dove in and took care of business, got it done, and were excited. You didn't
Mhm.
care. You
Yeah.
didn't think about what do people think about me? Do they like my bathing suit today? Are people going to like judge me? And like I had no thoughts about that. I had no thoughts about do people judge me if I
No self-doubt, the
no.
fear, the failure. No, none of that. You just were a free spirit and you were tapping into the pure potential you believed you had. Yes. Yeah. I love Green Mandarin for many of the reasons that you said as well. It smells amazing. It tastes delicious because this is also an internal oil that you can enjoy, but it is stepping you out of the limiting beliefs. And come on, guys, we're so human. every single day, 24 hours a day. You cannot tell me that you've never had limiting beliefs. Some struggle more than others. I have been one to struggle more than others, but these oils can anchor you in to such a better frequency and help you do the work so much faster. And I love this oil for that reason. It's actually in my diffuser with kumquat right now. Like I can't even make that up. It's legit behind me in my diffuser in my office because I'm wanting to anchor in to the excitement, the wonder, the fearlessness that comes with taking action and stepping into the unfamiliar with what I'm doing in life right now. So, yeah, Sarah, I love this. I'm so glad you shared that story because I think it's very relatable. Like totally. The energy is absolutely relatable. Now, the other oil, my friends. Well, Sarah, do you have anything else to say about Green Mandarin?
Well, the key of Green Mandarin is to remind yourself that you have the potential. Like I love a quote by John Maxwell, and he says, God's gift to us is our potential. Our gift to him is realizing that potential and living it out. Like we are given this we are given so many gifts, and basically we can squander them away and not use them, or we can play full out even though it's scary, and to release that fear or the belief system that we're not good enough or we're not capable or whatever, release that fear and come back into our own and really, really fall into what our potential is and follow that.
Mhm. Absolutely. Amen, sister. Truly. Okay, so the last oil I want to highlight for time purposes, because we want you to get on your merry way and use these oils with intention, if it's touching your heart. So, anyways, Litsea. If you are struggling being stagnant and stuck, Litsea is the essential oil of manifestation. If you, like me, have been suppressing what what wants to come out, what wants to shine, if you have ever struggled with fear of rejection, like, I don't know, if you're a woman, I'm pretty dang sure you have struggled with fear of rejection before. If you also have struggled with external validation and confirmation, like that's where you were getting your worth, y'all, it's within you. It's already there. It's time for you to see it. If you're feeling blocked, then my friend Litsea is here to help you. Again, the essential oil manifestation. Now, it is a beautiful mobilizer of the will. Quote, Litsea is a powerful mobilizer of the will from the Essential Emotions book. It is helpful in encouraging us to flow through with our inspiration and promptings. It's wanting you to tap into what's already there, what's trying to signal you. And again, being human, I don't know if you've done this, Sarah. Like, I've definitely neglected some of the promptings, in my opinion, God, your higher power, the divine, have been like hitting me over the head with. Vicki, hello, pay attention. Bop. Vicki, bop. I don't know, you have to knock me on my you know what for me to sometimes hear it. Litsea is here to help that connection, help you connect to those promptings. And the intuitive insights that I believe all of us carry, Litsea is going to help amplify those moments, those intuitive moments, help you open up your mind and your heart. Now, can't make this up. Quick story to tie this all together before, Sarah shares why she loves Litsea as well. A couple weeks ago now, my father-in-law, he's amazing. Like, I love him more than tongue can tell. I was in my kitchen, no joke, like true story, a couple weeks ago, in my kitchen doing dishes, and all of a sudden I got this very vivid, it was like a dream state memory something where I could see my dad in the backyard, my father-in-law, call him dad, my dad in the backyard enjoying his gazebo. He loves his gazebo. Roses are around it. It's gorgeous. And just enjoying it. And I'll leave a couple details out because those are pretty personal. So, anyways, I just got this. I had a feeling like I needed to tell my dad. So I text him. I stop doing dishes, dry my hands. I text my dad, "Hey dad, by any chance were you just daydreaming? Were you just daydreaming?" You know what? I'm gonna pull it up on my phone right now because it was just that good. So give me a second. Let me type in dad on my phone and then I'm gonna share it with you. I said, "Hey dad, this might sound weird, but were you just daydreaming? I just got a vivid image of you daydreaming of life and the gazebo in your backyard. It was strange and kind of like an out-of-body experience for me a bit. So weird." You want to hear what he said? "I was actually daydreaming that we were celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary, having it blessed at the gazebo. That was that was prepared with a lot of food and friends and neighbors were there. And I was thinking of the lechon, we're Filipino, barbecue, pancit, and lumpia, and we were having fun. But that prompting, like it was crazy. Sarah's like, "Oh my gosh." But anyways, I mention that because I do believe that we get promptings all of the time. When we are feeling stuck, when we are feeling stagnant, and we are just like, ugh, Sarah mentioned earlier, like quicksand, when you're just feeling like you can't progress out of it. Maybe Litsea can be that ally for you to get you more inspired, get you more in line, aligned, not in line, aligned, and maybe give you more clarity of where you're wanting to go. I truly believe we have it in us, everything we need to live our best life and enjoy every moment. And Litsea is the essential oil manifestation, and I love it for that. But hopefully that story was awesome. I think it's fabulous. But if you're really wanting to connect inward and work on manifesting the most beautiful year ahead, then I think this is going to be a great supporter for you.
I agree. Man, like Litsea is one of my favorites that I use, especially this time of year when I'm doing my vision boarding, when I'm doing working on goals and working on different things. Um, but I love that it kind of helps us to stifle the inner critic. Like it helps us to come away from that inner critic of saying, no, that's not what you just thought, or not, oh, I shouldn't ask them this or that. Because when we do get these promptings and these ideas and thoughts that come into our minds, we stifle them quickly. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't no, oh, that's a nice thought, but I don't need to text that person. Or, oh, I'm sure they're fine. We were just talking the other day. Or I don't need to do that right this second because it's not that important, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, on the flip side, how many times have you had one of those thoughts, ignored it, and then a minute or two later, or even a day later, you're like, well, crap, if I had just done what that thought was, I wouldn't be in
That
this.
prompting. Yes.
Yeah. Like, and I love Litsea because it helps you to just be like, stop criticizing your inner thoughts.
Hmm.
Stop being your inner thought critic and going, oh, I don't need to do that, or I don't have to do that. And actually just process it and really do it. If you get a prompting, even if it's silly, you know, I remember this one time having this thought, oh, I need to grab those keys off the floor. I had my car keys were on the floor. I was in the middle of doing something and I was like, oh, I'll come back in a second and I'll grab those car keys. Well, my husband was on crutches at the time and he had twisted his sprained an ankle or something. And I didn't grab the keys. I just left them because I was in the middle of wrapping presents on my floor. And he went and used his crutches and he was going to the bathroom and he only has one good foot and he landed super hard on that one good foot and the key went right through his bottom of his foot. And if I had just like listened to that, hey, move the keys, I'm like, yeah, there's plenty. It's not like the floor was cluttered or anything. It was just sitting right there and I had my wrapping stuff out, and I was in that moment of wrapping up birthday presents for the neighbor kids, and I just wasn't not there, not in that like
Mm.
frame of mind. And there was plenty of, like I said, plenty of floor space to be walking through. Wasn't going to hurt anybody. I was thinking, oh, I'll just pick them up in a few minutes. When I pick up all my wrapping paper stuff, I'll pick up everything right then. Guess what? My husband came through, bam, went down. Key went right through his foot. Like it was deep too, and it was gross and all kinds of. But if I had just moved it, if I had
Yeah.
just taken like the 10 seconds, how hard would it have been just to reach over, grab
Not
those
hard.
keys, and shove them in my pocket? It would not have been
Yeah.
hard. But I stifled that idea, that thing, thinking, I'll just do it later.
Hmm.
And how many times do we regret, kick ourselves? Ah, shoot, if I had just done this when I thought about it, I wouldn't have this problem. And that is the key for Litsea. It helps us to trust that inner voice, to trust and to act and take the actions that we need. I feel like I should like put in a plug for Blue Tansy because like that's the inspired action, right? It's like taking the action of these inspired thoughts. It's like they go hand in hand. Like
Yes.
take the action and like do the thing that you were prompted to do and take the action and stop listening to that fear, that critic, that whatever, and just do it.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, I loved this conversation, but it is time to move into our scoop of the day. So, Sarah, I would love for you to share what your scoop of the day is.
My scoop is going to be a blend, of course, a diffuser blend. But I also, you can put this into a roller bottle as well. And that's going to be 3 drops of Litsea for your diffuser. And I'll put the roller blend of the exact same thing in the show notes. 3 Litsea, 5 Green Mandarin, and um 2 Cypress, and 3 Blue Tansy.
Oh, wow. That's
You
heavy. I
want
like it.
you want a powerful one that'll push you
Mhm.
through. That'll be it.
Mhm. Oh, I love that. Thank you, friend. You're so good. You're just a wizard with knowing. My scoop of the day, friends, is a couple questions that I would really like you to ask yourself. If you're wanting to do the work, again, we can't do it for you, but if you're tired of feeling stuck and stagnant, here's 2 questions that you can ask yourself. Pairing it with the diffuser blend Sarah had just mentioned, this would be great internal work for you to do. Or again, schedule an appointment with myself or Sarah, and we can be your essential emotions coaches. Question 1. Am I willing to honestly explore the areas of my life that have become stagnant? What emotions do I need to process through? That's your second question.
Wow, those are some really powerful questions. Thanks, Vicki, for those. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode and are feeling inspired to dive in even deeper into the world of essential oils. Want exclusive offers, content, and recipes? Click on the newsletter link in the show notes today. Looking for even more wellness inspiration? Dive into our previous episodes and stay in the loop by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the Essential Oil Scoop Podcast. Thanks for being a part of our essential oil family. And remember, hit the subscribe button to be notified every time we upload a brand new episode.